to be a decent copy of the recording. So I'm just going to flip back to the first screen just so that everybody's got that who's watching on catch up. So there we go. So we've got another lady coming in. Excellent. Super. So what this is all about, managing your nerves so you can actually enjoy your ride. And so just to reiterate, just before we start, non-judgmental space, please keep microphones off. You can keep your camera on if you want to. It doesn't matter if you've got it off. There will be a question and answer session at the end, and this is being recorded. So here we go. So where are you now? Now, obviously, you know, I can't cater for absolutely everybody's situation, but this is the kind of thing that comes up in my work with people and what I see on social media. So you want to ride safely, you want to be safe, you want to enjoy it, you want to enjoy the freedom of being on a bike, and you want to be able to trust yourself to be capable of riding the bike. And you might also be preparing for tests, and you might obviously be a bit worried about your tests. But every time you go out, or a lot of the times you go out, you try to tell yourself, yes, I can do this, I can do this. And obviously, giving yourself all the positive affirmations, but you don't believe it. So when you go out, your mind races, or you overthink things, or it goes completely blank. You think you've forgotten everything you've ever learned, everything tenses up, and you just start questioning everything, and you're just not enjoying it. It just feels like you're dreading every time you want to go out for a ride, and you might not be sleeping the night before. And this is even, you know, compounded even more if you've had some negative experiences, which of course can be including, you know, having accidents, which, you know, let's face it, motorcycling is not the safest activity, yet we decide we want to put ourselves through it for some crazy reason that will no doubt become clear. So can you really feel safe and confident on the bike? If you are feeling like that at the moment, can you ever see a time where it's going to be different? So my answer to you is yes, you can. Obviously, it's not going to happen overnight, but by taking on board some of the things that you will learn tonight, obviously, you know, it's not going to be, everything's not for everyone. There'll be things that you'll take away that someone else might not find useful, and vice versa. But basically, there will be things that you'll be able to take away from tonight that will hopefully help you feel a lot better about your riding, or at least your progress that you can put in place after tonight. So what we're going to be covering tonight is why you feel the way you do, what is actually going on underneath the surface. So even though you might be getting better, you know, obviously you're getting the instruction that you need, you still might be not enjoying it. You still might be dreading every lesson. You still might be dreading every test. And you want to kind of feel better. Obviously, we get stuck in this cycle of the fear loop, which I'll go into what that looks like and what you can do about it, and also give you some practical mindset shifts to be able to feel a lot better about your riding. So everybody with me so far. So what this workshop is not is riding instruction. Okay, it is not motorcycle training. I am not an instructor. Any motorcycle riding experiences are to be dealt with your instructors. Okay, I'm not going to be giving you advice on how to corner. I'm not going to be giving you advice on, you know, how to start and stop and do slow maneuvers and junctions or anything like that. But we can talk about how you feel about those things, absolutely. And my view is that you can never have enough good quality training. And obviously, you know, people's experiences around training can be quite varied. You know, I hear some really, really good training experiences. I also hear some horror stories, and then obviously a lot in between. And so we will come on to a little bit of advice about how you can get the right kind of training for you. So what this workshop actually is training on managing your mind and your nervous system, because those are the things that are getting in the way of you being able to enjoy your riding experience and feel safe. And the great thing is that what you learn tonight, you can apply to anything where you're getting out of your comfort zone, where you're feeling unsteady and unsafe. So what you learn tonight, you'll be able to put into practice in various different ways, not just in relation to riding. So who am I to be telling you about all of this? Who am I to be able to help you? So my background, I'm obviously, my name's Claire, and I am 52 years old now. And when I was 50, I decided I wanted to start riding a motorbike. and I went into it thinking it would be easy because that's what I was told. And then my first experience was a bit of a shock to the system, in that I didn't even have the confidence, belief, or the safety and trust in myself to be able to pick my feet off the floor to be able to ride in a straight line on a scooter. That was where I was starting from. Now I see other people. There was another lad who was on my day. Yeah, Karen, you thought it would be easy too. Yeah, how naive we were. So this guy, the other guy who was on this introductory ride with me, he'd been riding dirt bikes for years, you know, since he was a kid. So he just leapt on it, off he went, and they said, yeah, you can go straight onto the geared bike. And then he was doing loops around on that, and there's me going, huh, I can't even lift my feet off the floor. Obviously I did eventually get past that, but that was a real shock to my system. And of course, what that did to my sense of self-belief, it was just like went through the floor, and suddenly there I was, someone who thought I was competent and confident, went from that to being a beginner and knowing nothing and feeling like a failure. And obviously I had to work through that. But as a mindset coach and as a former NHS leader, as a former firefighter, a former prison officer, and a marathon runner, I have been through a lot of experiences where I had to dig deep and find some self-belief, find some inner strength, resilience to actually push through when things feel really, really tough. So I was able to draw on all of that and get myself through these experiences. And I had to keep questioning myself, how much do I really want to ride a motorbike? It must be really important to me if I keep going when all these things keep happening and I keep falling off and not making any progress. So I'm not going to tell you all about my journey tonight. That's for another time, and you can read about it on my website. But the point I'm trying to make here is that it was really tough when I started. So I know exactly how you feel when it comes to feeling nervous about being on the bike and not enjoying your ride, because that was me too. Okay. So I do know a thing or two about managing nerves, building resilient mindset. And now I want to help you to be able to do the same. So I don't know why my screen won't let me press the button sometimes. So tell me, and you can tell me in the chat, or you can tell me, you know, on camera, how do nerves show up for you? What's going on? Let's just hear from a few people. What are your experiences? What brings you here tonight? Anyone want to say anything? Rabbit in the headlights. Yes. So kind of, yeah. So you feel like you're stunned. You don't know what to do. You've forgotten everything. So you're freezing. Yeah. Mandy, feeling sick and getting the shakes. Yes, that's really kind of like a visceral reaction in your nervous system, your body basically screaming at you, this is not safe. Gritting your teeth. Yes. And who else holds the handlebars and your shoulders are up round your ears? Tight chest, can't breathe. Yeah. Mind holding you back. Lack of sleep. Yeah. And arms riding with arms tensed up. Tense like a plank. Yeah. Tensing. Yeah. And tensing is such a you know, an issue. So Z1 has raised their hand. Did you want to say anything? If you can pop it in the chat if you want, or you can just say out loud. Just see. I'm just trying to go through. So I've got the slides open. I'm trying to see who is talking.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, just trying to find you on the camera because I've got lots.
I don't know where I am on the camera.
That's okay. As long as I can hear you, that's the main thing. So what would you like to share?
Take some. Oh, there. Actually, I was just gonna sort of say how I started. I always wanted. I love bikes. I'm just absolutely and utterly obsessed. Even when I was 3, I used to climb up my great uncle's bike.
Yeah.
You know, like the family do's.
Yeah.
And God forbid anybody that tried to take me off that bike, I'd scream blue murder and clutch at the thing like it was like a lifeline. But so last year on the 11th of August, I was a pillion because I didn't have my license and crashed at 120 miles an hour. The guy was airlifted to hospital. I ended up being unable to walk, unable to use my hands. I was annihilated.
Oh my goodness.
So that was 11th of August. On the 10th of September, I bought a GSXR 125. And by the end of October, I'd passed my CBT on crutches.
Wow.
And managed to knock up, I think it was 12,000 miles between then and July.
Wow.
And finally passed my full license in August. So in a year of a really major accident,
Yeah.
I got my big license and I ride a Z1000 now.
Wow.
Oh my God, I have so much fear
I'm
still.
sure.
It's
I'm
still
sure.
there, but there's no
Yeah.
way I'll be pillion.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Gosh.
I don't know why, but yeah, so I've got all these like fears and just
Mm,
weird, stupid things like, oh my God, there's like a leaf and I'm gonna
mm,
die. Ah!
yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah. I mean, it
but
sounds like,
I don't know why.
yeah.
But what I did do, I went to a festival,
Right.
girls' festival, can't remember the name of it, and there was a Moto Gymkhana there, and it's almost like doing the mud ones again,
Right.
but it's fun and
Hmm.
it's amazing. And I would really, really, really look it up, stick some cones and do
Yeah.
weaving
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Was that the
gently.
Women in Moto in August?
Yes,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I was
yeah,
there too.
that
Yeah. I
was
think a
it.
few people were here who are here tonight. Were also
Oh,
there. Yeah.
excellent.
It's
I was
great.
the
Great
one that was
experience.
obsessed with the Moto Gymkhana and was just there like I was a permanent fixture, but I wasn't. But
Fantastic,
yeah,
fantastic. So
really
just
just
to,
everything.
I am going to have to move us on so we stay within time. But obviously, if you would like to have a chat, there is. I'll be giving everybody at the end of tonight how to book a chat with me. So if you want to have a free chat to just talk through your experience of what happened and what might be the next best steps for you in terms of getting support for that fear, we can definitely do that. So thank you so much for sharing that. That was really, really
Can
helpful.
you mute me?
I can mute you. Yeah, no
I'm
problem.
useless at this.
Thank you very much for sharing. Okay, so we've got, I think, a lot of similarities here in terms of how people are feeling, and it's showing up very physically, isn't it, as well as mentally, because the mind-body connection is very, very strong, and we'll be going through in a minute why that is. Okay, so what we try to get through this is just relax. Tell yourself to relax. How many people have said to you, you just need to relax? And does it work? Not usually, because we are not addressing the problem, we're just addressing the symptom. We might stop riding altogether. How many people have done that? Just go, oh, I don't feel like going out today, so I'm not going to go out. And then we thought, oh, well, I'll wait until I feel ready. And then, of course, what happens is the longer you leave it, the bigger the problem gets because it's not actually being tackled. We're avoiding the problem as opposed to addressing it. So why these things don't work? Because just relax, as I say, it invalidates the fear. It's just trying to pretend that it doesn't exist when actually it really does exist, and it's really causing a big problem. And obviously, the longer we leave it, the worse it gets. So we don't ride, then our confidence is going to shrink even more. And then the more we wait, the harder it is. And then it can just be a self-fulfilling prophecy. So yeah, Kirsten makes me more upset. Yeah, yeah. And this is it, because you know that you want to really do it, but you're questioning, what is wrong with me? Why aren't I able to do this? And what I want you to know in a minute is that it's normal. So how nerves often show up. So we might put off the ride, we're shaking hands, feet and body. Obviously people have been saying feeling sick and going to the loo however many times. Yeah, that used to be me. It's not so bad now, but certainly it was when I first started. Like, yeah, I need the loo again, and oh, and I need another drink, so I've got to take my helmet off, and then I put my helmet back on. No, I need the loo again, and and so it goes on. And it's procrastination. You're trying not to do the thing that you need to do. Um, and you might mind either might go blank or the opposite and just overthinking absolutely everything. So you don't trust yourself to remember what you need to do. And then of course we start making mistakes, and of course if we start making mistakes, what happens to our anxiety levels? It goes up, and then we're just stuck in this endless loop of not making progress. And obviously if we're in lessons or tests where something goes wrong and people are watching, and it just really doesn't help. And often people struggle to sleep before riding. So of course if you're going into riding feeling tired, how's that going to affect your performance? So there's lots going on that really are not helpful. So what do we need to do about it? So I don't know why my slides are not going where I want them to go. So your inner voice is chattering away at the same time as all of these physical things going on, saying, I'm not cut out for this. What's everyone thinking? I'm never gonna get the hang of it. I'm never gonna pass. I'm a failure and I'm not safe. I'm going to make another mistake. We've got all of that kind of inner chatter going on that's just reinforcing all of those negative feelings and we just don't feel like we're getting anywhere. Can anybody else see a yellow line on my screen? Because I wonder, because I think it's something, it's an annotation. I'm just wondering if I can get rid of it. Eraser, here we go. There we go. And I've got a couple of dots down there. Oh, magic. I don't normally use, this is Canva I'm using. I usually use PowerPoint, so this is all a bit new to me. But here we go. Never mind. That's sorted it. So yeah, so the inner voice is very powerful, chattering away, reinforcing everything that we're feeling, and our belief in ourselves is probably through the floor at the moment. What I'm not going to tell you is to just relax. You'll be fine. I won't tell you to ignore your nerves. I won't say you'll get over it. I won't say maybe riding isn't for you. How many people have been told maybe isn't for you? I know I was told that by the very first instructor I had. Was like, yeah, don't think this is for you. And I'm like, I've already bought my bike, so it is for me, and I'm going to show you how. And I did eventually, but there's a lot of unhelpful attitudes, I think, towards beginners that we need to ignore. And obviously, you know, is about getting the right support. And obviously, for some people, if there is a real genuine thing that is preventing them from being able to ride safely, that's a different matter. But for most of us, it's possible with the right amount of training, support, and other interventions. Kirsten, trained a lot in car parks, quiet roads, etc. Helped me with slow riding, hill starts to become more confident. The neighbours were not that impressed, but did not complain. Every evening, different road. Yeah, I used to worry about my neighbours and, oh God, what's she up to now? Especially when I dropped the bike a few times in my road. It happens. Kate, almost quit riding together in May this year as I thought I would never get my head around doing the DASN test. So glad I didn't. Yes, absolutely. So glad you didn't. But you still have a long way to go. And that's it. It's, we're all on a different journey. Although we're doing the same things, we all do it at different paces, and no two journeys are alike. And it's about really understanding and accepting that, which you'll see in a little while. So what I will tell you is what you're feeling is absolutely normal.